Hello, this is Heather Hill. I am in fall of 2025 for this video on the anatomy of the eye. So when going through the diagram of the eye, we're going to start at the outside with the sclera, which is this outer piece right here. It's the outer layer of the eye, and it is the white part of the eye. That is where the extrinsic muscles connect to help move the eye around. The next layer is the dark layer right here in the middle. It's the choroid. That is the pigmented vascular layer that supplies blood to the outer layers of the retina, which is our next layer inside here. This here is the retina. The retina is the light-sensitive, multi-layered sheet of neural tissue that responds to visual stimuli. On the other side, as part of the sclera, we have the cornea, which is this front piece here. It is the only transparent tissue of the eye, actual tissue, that allows the light to come into the eye. Directly behind that, you have in this area here, you have the aqueous. It's the fluid that fills directly behind the cornea, all the way to the lens, into this anterior portion of the eye. The iris is here. That is the pigmented tissue that is the color of your eye, whether it's brown or blue, and it controls the opening of the pupil, which is in the middle of it here, right here. The iris then opens and closes to allow more or less light through the pupil, which is the opening between, into the lens, which is this piece here. The crystalline lens is clear and flexible. It is responsible for the near focusing and for accommodation. Ciliary body is, where did it go? It's really hard to do this backwards. Ciliary body is right in here, and that produces the aqueous, which flows through both the pupil and into the area behind the cornea, which is the anterior segment of the eye. The fluid that flows from the ciliary body into this area then goes back out and flows through the canal of Schlemm, which is these two spots right up in here. It is all the way around the cornea above the iris, and that filters the aqueous and allows the aqueous to flow. If it does not flow well enough, that can affect the intraocular pressure of the eye, which can cause issues with vision and some other things in causing the eye to not function well, up to and including blindness. Right in here is, where did it go? Looking at it backwards. This is the ora serrata, which is right in this area. It is the transition zone between the retina and the non-light sensing portions of the eye, the ciliary bodies. There is the suspensory ligament is right in here, and it is what attaches the ciliary muscles to the lens to hold it in place. So the conjunctiva is here. It actually flows all around the sclera. It is the clear membranous fluid that covers the sclera and protects it. The macula is on the back side, back to the back side once the light flows through. Our macula is here. which is the area where the cones are concentrated in this region mostly, and then the rods are further out in the peripheral for the light detection. The fovea centralis is actually in the very center of that macula. The cones are the highest concentration in this area, and that's where most of the vision for your the color detection actually takes place. Your optic disc is right back here. It is the blind spot because there is no retina right across there. It is what's allowing all the information to collect and flow back through what is now the optic nerve. The optic nerve is at the back of the eye, and that is where the information flows through the optic nerve into the visual pathway to go all the way to the occipital lobe in the brain. And then all of the area between the anterior segment and your retina at the back in the posterior segment is this fluid, and that is the vitreous fluid. It's a gel-like substance that fills the chamber in the posterior chamber, and it can be replaced by other types of fluid if needed. Interesting fact that I found was that the canal of Schlemm actually can have a stent put in it. Those have got to be tiny, and it was just fascinating that they could actually create such a thing. That's the anatomy of the eye.